we are. Good afternoon. As you know, my name's Bianca, and I'm joined with
Sophia.
Yeah, you see us together quite a lot. So we're in the yard, which is always nice, and in the very background you can see a tree. I'm very excited about the tree. I might have to carry you over to the tree later because it's an awesome tree. I clearly don't get out much. So I'm just changing something because I am, where am I? That's better. You were right over my face then. Not you, Sophia, but the words. So today is World Mental Health Day. And as part of that, we wanted to get together and speak and have a conversation because you know at Community Courtyard, we're all about conversation starters. Yeah, so we don't pretend to have all of the answers and we're not pretending to be experts, but we are experts in our own lives and our own experiences. And as you know, Sophia from The Creator Educator, her focus of her work is all around emotional health, emotional well-being. So it seemed like the perfect guest for today.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, World Mental Health Day. What do you know about that, Sophia? That was a loaded question. You need all the answers for it. Go on, tell me what you can though.
Obviously, as the name says, it's across the entire world, and for me, it's around raising sort of awareness, having those conversations around mental health, and changing the narrative for me, changing it from something that's perceived as negative into something that's more positive, and looking at different ways that we can support each other, things that we can do for ourselves, things that we can do for each other when it comes to our well-being and mental health.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? So in the past, lots of people might have been afraid to say they had poor mental health at any one time, and people didn't talk about their mental health. And that's beginning to change. I wouldn't say it's 100% yet, but we're certainly well past the starting point.
Absolutely.
So there are groups of people who don't talk about their emotional health very well, because women, we're quite good. We're not brilliant, but we're quite good. We all like a natter. But men, you're a little bit rubbish, generally. Not all of you, so don't message me in and go, oh, I'm not rubbish. I'm not talking about all men across the world. But we know that men are quite high risk of suicide, but often we're told that boys don't cry, and lots of the emotional stuff is considered quite weak, so people don't talk about it. And we just want to remind you that actually that's complete tosh. Yeah, codswallop, rubbish, clear. Yeah, not true, because that's just not how it is. Hi Laurel, good morning. No one's watching us on Twitch. How cool is that? I do like a good Twitch in the morning. And so it's reminding us that there's no such thing as bad emotions. Yeah, everybody has a day or two when they're feeling sad or fed up or long in the tooth. But if you have 5 days in a row where you're struggling to get out of bed, if you have 5 days in a row where your eating pattern might not be the same, yeah, maybe you're eating too much, maybe you're not eating at all, yeah, if you have 5 days in a row where your mood is, maybe it's irritable, maybe a bit more snappy with your friends, maybe a bit more oversensitive, maybe things are struggling, that 5 day in a row thing means that maybe it's worth talking to someone.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
I would definitely agree with that.
Because sometimes you have a bad time. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe your goldfish has died. These things are allowed to make us feel sad, angry, etc., etc. But we generally have coping mechanisms within our own selves, but we are able to get our hormones levels back and cope. So when we can't cope with those scenarios, or there's nothing wrong, we just can't shift our mood, that's the time to begin having conversations with our friends. And if that's not helping, then it's the time to seek professional help.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah? And there's nothing bad about going to see your doctor or your nurse, or speak to a teacher or a youth worker, or speak to your friend about mental health, because actually, if you break your finger, you're probably going to get that sorted out fairly swiftly.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not going to hang around with your arm dropping off. Yeah?
No.
Toothache, you're going to the dentist. Yeah, you're not waiting until your wisdom tooth is throbbing and your face has come right out here.
No, you're not going to do that, absolutely.
if you do that, you're an idiot. So go to the dentist as well.
But I think it's then seeing, like, we value our physical health quite a lot, and it's then seeing your mental health as the same.
Absolutely. And giving yourself time to look after yourself. So I wonder what you do to look after yourself. Now, I've got a good idea of what Sophia does to look after her emotional well-being. But what do you do, for those of you who haven't guessed?
Well, big thing for me, obviously, people who do know me, I'm a big crafter. And I particularly like doing like craft-based things that are quite repetitive. And I find that quite meditative, because you're doing the same thing, but also you've got to concentrate on what you're doing. So at the moment, I've been doing loads of cross stitch, because I've got to follow a pattern, so I have to concentrate. I've been doing crocheting, and a few other bits and bobs, and also doing the crafternoon. I find that helpful for me, as well as hopefully helping other people as well.
Absolutely.
But I'm also a big fan of podcasts.
You do like a podcast?
I do like a podcast. That is one of my big things, and I probably listen to podcasts every day. I like loads of different stuff. I like, depending on what my mood is, sometimes I like things that make me laugh.
Yeah.
So I like listening to like comedians who do podcasts. Sometimes I want something that's a bit more serious or like history based. So it's kind of whatever works for you as well.
Absolutely. Laura's just put, people should value their mental health as well as their physical health. Absolutely. And often we don't. And I don't think it's because we don't want to. I'm not sure we even know what mental health is sometimes. So it's hard to value something that you can't see. Yeah, and we're in a very capitalist world. Yeah, you knew that I was going to get a little bit political even on World Mental Health Day. But in a capitalist world, what we're taught is that what is valuable. And valuable is things that we can see in this one. Now, I don't agree with this. I think people are really important, and I think your emotional health is really important. But that's part of the problem. People aren't taught mental health, and we're not taught stuff as easily. There is some stuff going on now. So I know that there's lots of yoga and mindfulness for little people, which is fab. I'm really rubbish at meditation.
I find meditation, so obviously guys who have tuned into stuff before, I have anxiety, and I find meditation actually triggers my anxiety. So that for me is a no-go for me. But I know it works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So if it works for you, then go for it.
Yeah, I know. My fiance Steve, he does a bit of meditation, and he quite enjoys it. I just lay on the floor and think, not sure what's supposed to be happening here, and just feel a bit of an idiot. And then I think, oh no, I've got to get up. I'm laying on the floor. So then I'm not thinking about the meditation at all. I'm just thinking about the floor. Yeah, that doesn't work at all.
No, it's not quite the aim.
It's not the relaxation that I was hoping. So things that I do, I really like writing. Not typing out stuff, but actually handwriting. So I'm known for sending people cards and letters. So I like doing that because A, I think it's really lovely to get something through the post. B, I think it's a really nice process to be able to write a letter where you're actually reflecting on what you do. So you start, hi, how are you? This is what's been going on in my life, because it gives you a chance to reflect on what actually has been going on in your life. Yeah, and it doesn't mean you've got to tell everybody everything, but sometimes it's nice to tell some people something. I like to read, but I like to read not a very fiction storybook, although I did like The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night Time. I thought that book was fab. So I do like reading. I also like a bit of crafting every now and then, but again, I have to be in the right frame of mind. And I like things that can be done quicker. Yeah, so I don't always have the time to spend doing the cross stitch stuff. I like weaving because you can see it.
You can see it taking
physical.
shape,
Yeah. So I don't mind weaving.
But I don't think it matters how long you're doing something for.
No.
I think actually, even if you're doing something for 5-10 minutes,
Yeah, absolutely.
that can really help.
Yeah, absolutely. But I find that frustrating. If I did it for 10 minutes and I couldn't see anything happening, I would never go back to it, and I'd think,
Not doing that.
you're not doing that. And I'm aware that actually some of the things we're saying cost money. So other things that I like to do, sometimes you see me on these live stream things and I've got a dog in the background, or two. And I really enjoy dog walking. Now, as I was walking here, I said to Sophia, I don't know if I want to do a dog walk today. bloody freezing out. But I know if I do it, I will come home feeling better. Yeah, so if people are getting on my nerves or I'm feeling like I'm thunder, I can walk that emotion off. Do you mean? So walking and being connected outside, I think is a really important thing to get some fresh air.
Absolutely.
And actually physical exercise helps with your emotional health. Yeah. And so Laurel likes to write, reads facts, loves to game and craft.
Cool.
Yeah. My Steve does a lot of gaming as a way of helping his mental health. So I can understand that, Laurel. I find gaming not a trigger to my mental health, but I just find it really frustrating because I'm about as coordinated as a slug. Yeah, and you do need some eye-hand coordination for gaming, and I don't possess that very easily. So people, when they game with me, do not find that a happy experience, really.
My level is Mario Kart, so...
I'm not even very good at that, to be honest. Mostly I'm hitting the wall for no reason at all. But it's funny. So I think that reading's really good. I think that going outside is really good. And talking to people. Yeah, if you've got a problem, there's that saying, a problem shared is a problem halved. Yeah, and sayings don't just appear out of nowhere. They happen because they're based on learned and lived experiences. So it's nice to be able to tell people about some of the things that are going on. However, think carefully about who you're telling stuff to. Yeah? Have people in your life who build you up, not build you down.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, because sometimes not you, I don't know which yous are watching, but you, we share stuff with people, maybe because we want to be included, maybe because of many other social pressures, but people will use information negatively. So don't give people access to your heart and your soul unless they deserve it. Yes, so think very carefully about who you share your information with. I think that's quite important.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I 100% agree with that. And the sort of comment that you said about being with people who raise you up, that's a huge thing, I think, for your mental health and your own well-being. And just, yeah, it's finding those people as well, that people who, when you've got something to celebrate, they celebrate with you as well. And I think that's really important, that even though we may have like challenges and things in our lives, actually when those good things do happen, is we do kind of share those as well, because it's the balance of those days that you're not feeling great, but also the days where you are feeling better about you and the things that you're doing as well, and sharing that with people, I think is really important.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it is important. I think that you judge a person by their friends. That's the saying. So you might not judge a person by its friends, but I've always been very interested in who's connected. Who are you connected to? Because as an anti-fascist, as an anti-racist, as a feminist, as an environmentalist, I'm interested in who hangs out with who. Yeah, because your values tell me about what I can and cannot share from my life or what I'm doing with you. And so everything is connected. And that's important.
Yeah, 100%.
Another top tip for mental health: have a shower. Yeah, so you could have a bath, but I'm advocating a shower. Yeah, because the actual force of the shower, unless you've got a pathetic one like mine, which is more like a is really good in stimulating. Kind of, you feel refreshed. And if you're brave, you have a cold shower.
Oof.
Yeah.
You are brave.
I'm not brave. I'm not saying that I do that. But if you are brave, a cold shower is really good. And you might want to check out the Windhoff method. Yeah, so it's where you do more and more cold showers. I know there's a person called Daniel Beckett, and he does Windhoff experiences in Northampton. He's a trained person. So the Windhoff dude, he he lives in ice mostly, just hangs out in really cold places. But it's supposed to have really good health benefits.
I've not had that.
Okay, check it out.
I will.
That's my top tip for today.
I may
Go
not
be
do
cold.
it. I may not do it, but I will look into it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely supposed to. So I know that I saw that Daniel, he had really bad asthma. She used to take loads of inhalers and now is asthma free.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it has good positive physical health and emotional health. So
Interesting.
I'm trying to think of the organisation that he runs, and I can't. So you're just going to have to Google Daniel Beckett, the Windhoff Method, Northampton, and hopefully his stuff will come out.
Find it.
And that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's his partner Heather, and she does yoga for little people. They're my 2 random facts about emotional health. I like reading. I think reading's a really good emotional health thing. I also think that one thing that I do is I have a physical diary, and so I like to write stuff in there. And sometimes I think if you're having a good or bad day, it's useful to write in there, because then you can see if there's a pattern emerging. Because sometimes you don't know how long you've been feeling something, or is this a problem, or is it connected to my work or my life? Is there a reason for me to be sad?
Yeah.
And remember that all emotions are actually okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be feeling fed up. They're as valid as feeling happy, loved, and da-da-da. And all of us will experience those emotions as well. Yeah, so there's no problems with that. The issue comes when they prevent us from doing other things. Yeah? Or they lead us to doing stuff that have an impact. So they might mean that because we're feeling really sad and fed up, we might be drinking. Because we're feeling sad and fed up, we might be overeating or undereating. Because we're feeling really sad and fed up, or anxious or something else, we might be using recreational drugs. Yeah, so when it comes to that part becomes a little bit more problematic. And so that's why sometimes having a diary helps, because then you can see, am I just having a drink, or am I just doing this, or is it becoming part of a codependent problem? Yeah.
I've done it before. I've used like an app that kind of you can track your moods, and I've done it through there where when I've had times where I have been feeling quite anxious, that I can see, you can then see, is that over so many days?
Yeah.
What is it exactly that's happened? And then I have tried writing things down. I find writing things down a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'll revisit it.
Yeah.
And that's just me personally.
Yeah.
But it's then finding, for me, talking is a big thing. That if something's bothering me, I will keep talking until I talk it out of my system.
Yeah.
And that works for me. And I'm quite open that I've had counselling as well. And if it's something that you need, I think you should pursue it. I think that's really important.
So in Northampton, if you're a young person, we've got the Lowdown, we've got Service 6, and somewhere else, because I know there's 3 counselling agencies. Definitely having a Saturday brain day. But there's also, for adults, if you need counselling, then there's obviously private counsellors out there, but you can also go to your GP. Now, obviously, we know that the NHS is under huge strain every day of the week, but don't let that stop you talking about your emotional health, because your emotional health is really, really important. And remember, the language that we use around health is changing. So years ago, we said people committed suicide. Now we realise that's not true. People die by suicide. So emotional health has a really serious end part of it. Yeah. So anorexia, whilst it's physical, is an emotional health issue. And when people are starving themselves, the end result is death. Yeah. Depression, when it's not looked after and managed and helped, there is a risk of dying, and we don't want that. There are drugs and talking therapies and ways to make people feel better. Yeah, and nothing has to be forever. So if you're really worried about taking medication, don't be. Yeah, because if you broke your arm, you take your painkillers, you wouldn't be just going, no, I refuse paracetamol because I like to be in pain. I said no one. well, maybe a few people. But. So it's not a bad thing. And so we want to just kind of give you permission to feel what you feel and know that that's okay, to talk to someone and know that that's okay. 1 in 4 people are suffering from mental ill health at any one time. That's a lot, isn't it? Who's sitting in your household at the moment? How many are you? Have a look. Go on, move your head. Don't keep staring at me and Sophia. Have you counted? So tonight I'm having dinner with a couple of friends. I'm cooking, so I don't know whether they'll think it's as fun as I will. They'll be open for takeaway and I'm going to cook. So there'll be 4 people in the house. So that means that one of us at any one point could be suffering from mental ill health. Okay? Doesn't make them less my friends. Doesn't mean that we can't hang out. Doesn't mean that we can't have a nice time. But what it does mean is that even though I can be empathetic as a friend, that's not going to change how they're feeling. And that's also important, yeah? So when you have people in your life who've got mental health problems, it's really lovely to check in on them and see how they are, blah, 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 blah. But don't expect, just because you said, how are you? And they've told you, but the problem is then over. Yeah, so if someone's on crutches, you don't go, brilliant, you told me you broke your leg, now off you walk. Yeah, this is a long-term thing. It requires a long-term solution sometimes. Yeah, and that's okay. Yeah, it just means that we have to engage with people differently sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
This time of year, people get a bit fed up. Why is that? Well, the clocks go back.
Yeah, a couple of weeks time.
That's a bit depressing. Lots of dark nights. And then early mornings, dark. Everything is dark. So people get sad syndrome. Then on top of that, there's a lot of pressure from now, isn't there? We start with Halloween. I hate Halloween. Yeah, I think it's a terrible, terrible night. And I'm sure people in my neighbourhood must know because they never knock on my door. And if they do knock on my door, I don't answer the door. Because I just think the pressure for people is huge. Yeah, you're right, Laurel. Sad syndrome is a problem. So we've got Halloween, then we've got bonfire night, and then lo and behold, we're counting down already to the magic C word, Christmas. Now, things that I want to remind you in terms of managing that pressure is that the most precious thing you can give your family is your time. Yeah, you can make presents, you don't have to buy them. Father Christmas can only carry 1 present per child. Yeah, there has been a big child boom across the world. He's got a very busy night. So I think it's really important to remind young people that Santa only has enough space for 1 present. Anything else is for mum, dad, brothers, all that kind of stuff. And that just takes the pressure off a bit. Yeah? Because this is a really expensive time. And this year has been a hard year anyway. COVID, we're all online. I'm having to look at my face more now than I've ever looked at it in my life. And this angle doesn't do me any favours, I don't think. And I just don't know how to get my head in a right shape so that I look okay. And those things affect your mental health. For those people who've been shielding, it's been really hard. Yeah, having a lack of community and connections. For those people who are now going out, it's really hard because people are scared of catching illnesses and stuff. So there's a lot of anxiety and stress out there. And for that, I want you to remember the 5 things, your 5 senses. What can you see? What can you feel? What can you hear? What can you touch? What can you smell? Yeah, because when we're grounded back into ourselves, it helps neutralise the anxiety. Yeah,
no, definitely. I like to practice like different breathing methods. There's one way you breathe in for, I think it's 7 and 11. So you breathe in for 7, count 7 in your head, and then breathing out for 11, and that kind of, it's that calming sort of state as well. Also, I like you saying about smell. Yeah. Finding scents that work for you. Yeah. So I really like lavender. I think lavender is quite calming. Some people don't like it. Yeah. But it's finding those things that work for you as well. And that's a big thing. That would be my big advice, is finding what works for you.
Absolutely. Keep going. But you can only find out what works for you if you talk and you're open with yourself and with the people around you.
Yeah.
So, during this conversation, we've given you some top tips from things to do, from doodling to stomping around the park, from breathing in deeply to thinking about what you can see, hear and touch. If you've got any questions or you want to speak to a member of the team or you just fancy having a natter about emotional wellbeing, please know that our doors are open. Jasmine and her tea and toast, I think next Friday, possibly, and I think this will be happening once a month, has got Simone coming, and Simone is a senior staff nurse from St Andrews, and she's going to be talking about emotional wellbeing and mental health, and I'm particularly looking forward to that one because it's both my sisters, so I should be quite excited to see both girls having a natter together about this really important issue. So that'll be really good. If there's an issue that you'd like to chat to or have a conversation about, get in touch. As you know, the doors are open of sorts. I've locked it at the moment. You can't come in actually because I've got my back towards the door. Don't want to be jumped on. Not less than going to be a bottle pop because I'm a little bit thirsty. But the tea and toast stuff is 10:30 to 11:30, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Can anyone come? Yeah, they can. But how many people are we allowed? What's our magic number? That's right, 6. If I move my hand that way, then you can see 6. The other way, you just see me, no hands at all, and I look really weird. So 6 is the magic number. So how can you book in? Well, you can look through the window and see if there's 6 of us in here. If there's not, knock on the door, come in. You can telephone 07925 730 772. You can email theyard@communitycourtyard.org, or you can just shout very loudly and hope that we hear you. It'd be funny if you did do that and I heard you. That'd be well cool. I'm going to see if I can get someone just to try it. So I hope to see some of you also, because I think next week we've got some people coming in. So I know that we've got Simone on Friday. We've got Sophie, not you, Sophia. Sophie from the Lowdown. And we've got Alex from Northampton Community Foundation this week. So we've got some really cool people coming in.
Let me in on Friday as well.
I will let you in on Friday, yeah. With Jasmine and Simone.
Amazing.
Yeah, have a natter with them.
Yeah.
Oh, and other good things before we go. Guess who's back? Luke. He's back. He's had a little bit of time off. But it's all over now. He's got to come back to work. Yeah. So that sadly means that the physical exercise stuff, our yard camp restarts this week. So 11 o'clock, what we'll be doing will be being healthy, physically and emotionally.
Good.
Yeah, I'm going to just sit in the kitchen and eat cakes.
Okay.
I'm going to avoid both groups. Just listen, see what they're doing. So if you want to get involved with the yard camp, I'm sure that Luke will be telling you how to. Get involved with our tea and toast. But more importantly, come and see what the building has to offer. That sounds a bit peculiar. What can buildings offer? But in order to know, you've got to come and see it. I can't tell you any more. On that happy note, have a fantastic Saturday. And remember that you are great just as you are. There's not a better version of you out there. You are the best. But in order to be the most awesome, that requires every day us just re-examining ourselves, asking sometimes some difficult questions, and then doing something about it. Don't forget to get in touch if you need any support, a listening ear, a doodle buddy, or just a general natter. Yeah. Enjoy World Mental Health Day. Stay safe, stay COVID-free, and we'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Throwing stuff around now. That's how excited I am for my day.